Hello, everybody. This is Dirty Dutch Mantel, and you're listening to In Your Head Radio.
All right, and we're back. Welcome to In Your Head Wrestling Radio. I am the internet icon, handsome Jackie Jones, along with my right-hand man and the enforcer of the Headyverse.
1-inch biceps, the power goat. Bah, how about that? Huh?
I can tell you're under the weather, but I applaud the attempt.
No, thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And joining us off the bat here, and he might be wondering why right about now, we have the Universal Heartthrob wrestling legend, Austin Idol, on with us. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm live, baby. I got a pulse. My temperature's good. I'm feeling good. I'm looking good. So hit me, baby. Hit me up, Jack.
Excellent. Well, first of all, I want to know how the Universal Heartthrob, was that given to you by someone else, or was it something that you thought of?
It was given to me by me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was given to me by me. I pretty much gave myself everything. You know, I like to think that I was pretty much a unique individual that was very, very creative, especially for my time. And that, although, you know, people, I think, what is the cliche about flattery? Jack, can you hit me up with that one?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Yes, I stumped you on Friday night. I stumped you on Friday night. I can't believe it. Yeah, flattery. It's, you know, if someone, obviously, if you're somebody that you think that or feel like that's someone that you can actually emulate from, you know, that it's a big deal. And, you know, Buddy Rogers in professional wrestling, I mean, really, you know, he had to be more than likely the greatest. He started with Gorgeous George and Buddy Rogers, but I just kind of took a little bit of Buddy Rogers and kind of molded myself into him in a sense, but not, of course not everything. I mean, a lot of my stuff was very, very original, and a lot of it was parlayed from other individuals. But I had a great run in wrestling, and, you know, I'm still having a blast, even in wrestling. And, of course, my business world is phenomenal, and I'm just still having a great time, man.
Yeah, they inspired you, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, people get inspired by everybody, right? You got to be inspired and motivated by somebody. And I think that if you can also motivate somebody and inspire somebody, it's a great thing.
Yeah. Now, I know actually Hulk Hogan has said that he got a lot of his mannerisms from you. He said
that? He said that?
He has said that, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Play that tape. Play that tape, baby. Yeah, he has said that, you know, and Hulk and I, we go way, way back. He's a great guy, and he's legendary. He's a great guy, and I love him. But, you know, it's nice if you can set some kind of foundation that others can maybe take a little something from that and do well with it.
Mm-hmm. Now, in that era, when you had Hulk Hogan, you had Ric Flair as champions, and you had Lawler and Memphis, and I assume you've worked with all of them on a different level. How would you compare all those champions?
How would I compare them?
Yeah.
In terms of work-wise, or?
Yeah, being in the ring with them, you know, I know, like, you worked heel a lot, and you also worked babyface, but, you know, being in the ring with them, work-wise, like, who would you rather work with? And who do you think presented themselves as a champion the best?
You know, they're all good, you know, but, I mean, really, going back, I mean, Lawler and I had such an incredible run. I mean, it's just really it was historic. And Lawler was probably the best. Flair and I had some great matches, and you know, I can think back when Flair and I worked the first time in Atlanta, and I was with TBS, Ted Turner at the time, and really that was the big deal. You know, it was just superstation, so it had a lot of subscribers across the country, but even though it was still in its infantile situation, that they brought Flair in from Charlotte. Yeah, he was in Charlotte, and he was a big deal in Charlotte, but Atlanta, if you were on that TBS, you were considered a national star. And I was there in the early days of it, and they brought Flair in That was the first time Flair and I had ever actually wrestled each other in the Omni, and it really was a great match. It didn't go very long, I think about 12 or 15 minutes, and I believe it was like a draw or maybe a disqualification. But and Flair and I, as a matter of fact, in Dothan, Alabama, of all places. Matter of fact, in Dothan, Alabama, I'm scheduled to be there, and I will be there on May the 9th, which is a Saturday. Mm-hmm. It'll be at 4 o'clock p.m. at the Houston County Farm Center in Dothan, Alabama, and I'm going to be there signing autographs. And it'll be the first time I've been back in Dothan in God knows how long. I mean, I really don't know. It's been like forever. But Flair and I had a match that was sold out that night. I don't know, maybe 10,000 people, whatever, small building, but still great crowd for that time in that area. And we wrestled for an hour, and it was we just went through. There was no decision. Man, it was a great match, and Flair was just obviously a great performer. But Jerry Lawler, different story. I mean, Jerry was just unbelievable, and I had a 10-year run in and out of Memphis. It was just unbelievable. Great athlete and performer.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you think about that 10-year run, that you'd have to have something special to keep that, fresh for fans to keep coming back and wanting to see something like that.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you really do, Jack. I mean, it's Memphis, for a lot of people, like, on the national scene, they, unless you were there or you had some kind of understanding about Memphis, you really just wouldn't know how difficult it was to be able to draw fans into those buildings on a regular basis. I mean, very, very tough, because the promoters, they were so far-fetched and just so way outside the box in what they did. It made it hard for the main event to really get the fans to really believe in what they were doing, because they just did a bunch of goofy stuff. I mean, it's just goofy. And when I first went in there, I mean, I picked up on that right from the get-go, and I said to myself, this is not going to be easy, because I'm going to have to be the guy to make those fans out there in the television audience want to come see me and whoever, of course, Jerry Lawler, me and Lawler, to come see this match, because they're going to see a bunch of goofy stuff that just is cartoon. Mm-hmm. I mean, really cartoon. It's just like not believable. So it was very, very difficult. And through my run through Memphis, I mean, I saw a lot of big name stars come and go, and they didn't draw flies. I mean, they just didn't cut it. But I was very fortunate. I mean, I had a lot of input from what went on there, and they gave me pretty much a carte blanche to do what you want to do, and tell me what you want to do, and what's your ideas, what's your thoughts, and they gave it to me, and they let me run with it, and Laura and I had great chemistry, and for the most part, we drew a lot of money for a very long period of time. It was a cushy job for me.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever have any run-ins with fans, especially when you were heel working with, the hero Jerry Lawler?
That's a loaded question, and you know that. On the cage match, the big cage match where we shaved Lawler's hair, yeah, that was really intense, very, very serious. Coliseum sold out in Memphis, and of course, no one expected the King to have his head shaved, because he had shaved everybody's head in his previous hair matches. So, obviously, he was going to shave mine too, and especially I had guaranteed the fans that I would refund the purchase price for the tickets, and the money had already been deposited with the promoters, so they felt like, well, we're going to get to see how we get his head shaved, and we're going to get our money back too. So it's like this is a win-win situation for them. So when Lawler lost, because of Tommy Rich coming out from the bottom, underneath the ring, they were really intense. And I had been in a lot of intense situations before, but this one was one that they really wanted to kill us. I mean, they did. They really wanted to kill us, and the cops knew it. The few cops that were on the floor outside the cage who were supposed to be protecting us, but they knew that, who are we going to side with? The 15, 20,000 fans, whatever, or a couple of two wrestlers and a manager, Paul Heyman. So it was really intense, and at one point we really did. We ran back to the dressing room to save our rear ends,
Mm-hmm. Did you ever have a run-in with like a cop who maybe himself was a huge wrestling fan and also like really hated the heels and would go out of his way not to protect you?
All the time. When I was in New York in 1973, Pedro Morales was the champion, and I wrestled Pedro as Iron Mike McCord a lot of times, Jack. I mean, just a lot of times all across that region at the time, and the cops didn't care. I mean, they really didn't care, and they were, they were going to side with the champion and the fans. So really, you were unprotected. I mean, I had a lot of incidences there. I was stabbed with a knife in, I think it was Portland, Maine, and I just had a lot of instances. I saved Freddie Blassie, who is, I believe, probably dead now. Classy Freddie Blassie. I saved his life one afternoon, like in a fairgrounds somewhere, and they were going to kill him. And I mean, like an idiot, but I was young. Went out there and grabbed him and dragged him back to the dressing room. But yeah. That's not an unusual situation.
You mentioned, wrestling as Mike McCord, and now I know you became Austin Idol after your plane crash. You think, what went through your mind after the plane crash? Did you think, I want to reinvent myself? And do you think if it wasn't for that plane crash, you wouldn't have became Austin Idol?
Yeah, I'm sure if it hadn't been for the plane crash, I would not have become Austin Idol. But after the crash, and I kind of came to my senses, which took a while, and most of the people who know me would say that I still haven't come to my senses. And I'm not sure if I want to, but I mean, that doesn't sound like fun, does it? But
all right.
Yeah, I mean, after the crash, and I really did kind of come out of it, mentally. And I really felt like I was through with wrestling and that I didn't want to go back. But after a period of time, it kind of got back into my blood, and I thought, well, this is right now, this is my early part of my careers, and I had a little bit of good luck because I'd been in Australia in 1972 and had a really great break there. And prior to that, Charlotte, and then after Australia, New York in 73. And had a nice little run there with the WWF and Vince McMahon Sr. And Lou Albano was my manager. So, I mean, here I was young in the business, and I had some good breaks that I worked very, very hard for. And then the crash occurred. But after that, I did go back, and I went back to Atlanta, and I became very sick with a blood clot in my leg. And the doctors scared me half to death, and I'm glad that they did. And they say, hey, look, you got a blood clot, and we're going to give you some blood thinners, and hopefully this thing will dissolve. And when it does, you might want to think about losing weight. So I took a year off, did nothing, and decided, I'm going to lose 100 pounds. So I lost 100 pounds in a year, 2 pounds a week. And the more weight I lost, the more I kind of liked it. I said, wow, this is a pretty cool look. I said, maybe I could go back into wrestling and be somebody else. So I came up with the name Austin Idol and came up with a little moniker Universal Heartthrob and decided to go back, and it turned out pretty good.
Yeah. And I believe you sell like a fitness and nutrition booklet on your website. Yeah, I just put that up there maybe a week or so ago, and it's a kind of a compilation over many, many years of nutrition and fitness, and it's really kind of stupid simple, but I believe it's something that anybody that could use. I mean, for the regular guy, gal out there looking for some really good, solid information that's not confusing and that they can really get something out of. I really believe this is a pretty cool
pretty cool thing, and I appreciate you mentioning that.
Yeah,
so, it's available only on my website.
Yeah, that's Austin Night Alive, by the way. AustinNightAlive.com. And I do want to mention August 8th and 9th, you'll be at the Pensacola Paracon in Pensacola, Florida. And, that's a paranormal convention, so it's got some horror people. It's got paranormal, like, investigative people looking after a ghost. And I've been to a lot of horror conventions myself, and the wrestlers always really get over well there. Are you surprised that there's, like, a crossover audience with wrestling fans and horror movie fans?
A little bit. I'm a little surprised, but I'm not shocked because, entertainment is entertainment, and wrestling has changed so much over the years, and I think it's a pretty good fit. But I'm really stoked about this. I'm really stoked about it. Tim Beal out in California, he contacted me about this a while back, and we talked back and forth a little bit, and basically, came to an agreement that this is going to be a good deal. And Pensacola, I mean, it's dear to my heart in a way, and I mean, I love that area. It's a great little city. They're sitting on the Gulf Coast, and I think it's going to be a blast. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. So I'll be there for 2 days, the 8th and the 9th, and that's at the fairgrounds. And if I'm not mistaken, last year they drew about 30,000 people.
Oh, wow.
Which is a lot. That's a lot of folks. I mean, you're talking about 30,000 folks in 2 days in the Pensacola Fairgrounds. I mean, that's like a Major League Baseball turnout, So it ought to be insane. And I'm really stoked about it. I think it's going to be a blast.
Yeah. Before I let you go, Incher, I know a lot of people sending questions if you wanted to ask a good one.
Yeah, Vic from the Facebook page, he wants to know, did you ever catch any legit heat for angles where you impersonated the Mexican wrestlers?
No. Are you saying that wait a minute. Are you saying that hold on now. Are you saying that I actually impersonated a Latino American lucha libre wrestler?
That's what Vic's saying here. Yeah.
I'm under gag order. I can't go there. No, I don't think so. But God, what an angle that was! That drew big money too. off the record, of course.
Do you have a personal favorite angle that you were part of? I know you brought up Lawler and the hair match, but do you have like just an angle that you personally thought was like very fun and you enjoy doing?
Oh man, it's like there's 1,000 of them at least. I've done so many of them with so many people. I mean, really, gosh, to pick one, to choose one. I mean, really, probably the best one was the hair thing with Lawler. But there's been so many others in the past. I mean, I can go all the way back to TBS with the Freebirds, with the 4 flat tires. God, I mean, I can't even begin to think of them. I mean, really, just been a gazillion of them. There's been tons of angles, so many. I mean, even back in the Jay Strongbow days of the WWF. I mean, really, it's Australia. Bulldog Brower, Mark Lewin in Atlanta. I mean, I can tell you a bunch of stories that are just kind of off the charts. I mean, really. They're really off the charts. I mean, I can remember being in Memphis, and on Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum, and the promoter, Jerry Jarrett, coming to me in my dressing room and saying, "Idol, listen, Randy Savage, he's, got a little promotion over in Missouri. I can't remember the name of the town that Randy was promoting in, but that Randy had really pretty much been blackballed from wrestling because I guess that obviously there's some incidents that taken place, and for whatever reason promoters blackballed him. So, but I really wasn't privy to all that information. I didn't care anyway. But anyway, Joey Jarrett said, Randy's been calling me and several times, and he wants to kind of get back in the mainstream. And I asked Lawler if if he would work with him. And Laura said, absolutely not. I'm not working with this guy. He's crazy. He's a maniac. He'll punch my lights out on a very serious note. So he said, would you have a problem working with him? I said, no, not at all. Bring him in. Bring him in. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, Jarrett brought him in, and Randy showed up, whatever, a week or two later at Mid-South Coliseum, and I met him for the first time and said, Randy, I want to talk to you. So I brought him in my dressing room and said, listen, I don't care what's happened to you in the past. I really don't care. Whatever happened in the past, it's not my business. But you're here. Nobody wanted you here. I'm the one who said, bring him in. Let's make money. Forget everything else. Let's be business. Let's make money. And sure enough, Randy turned up. He was a great talent. God bless him. He was a great talent. I really love the guy and his whole family. Randy and of course his father's passed away. But it was kind of a strange deal looking back that you just never know. Sometimes you can change someone's career. You really can, and you never know that you're doing it when you are doing it. But hopefully he would have made it anyway. But certainly, I opened the doors for Randy Savage to get back into mainstream professional wrestling, and then he went on to be a huge deal.
Yeah.
Weird, huh?
Yeah, it's very weird. And I know you mentioned a few times working for WWF, and were you ever approached to work for the WWF for Vince Jr.?
No, and I really wasn't, and I'm sure I'd have done great there. I don't know why I wouldn't have, there's no reason I wouldn't have really done really, really well there. But I really believe the reason that Vince never reached out to me was because I left him. I left him in '73, and back then, and I've told this story before. Nobody leaves. Of course I gave him a notice, but nobody leaves New York because everybody wants to get there. Mm-hmm. And I gave my notice to his father, and I even went back after I gave the notice and did some things that his dad asked me to do. But I think that kind of soured Vince Jr. on me. That this guy, he didn't stay. He didn't. So maybe he looked at me like someone that he couldn't control. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not that controllable. I never was, and that's why I did the deal with Memphis for 10 years. I didn't want to be controlled like a puppet. Yeah. And I still did pretty darn good in wrestling. I made some money, and I saved some money, and I even parlayed it when I got out of the wrestling business in different deals.
Very cool. Well, I know you're a busy man, and the Universal Heartthrob has some stuff to do, but we really thank you for coming on and talk to us.
Okay, listen, Jack, one more thing, if I may.
Of course.
Okay, March the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
March the 8th is coming up. It's going to be on a Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at Ripley, Mississippi, the Tippah County Convention Center. Ripley's a city where, Ripley, believe it or not,
no.
It's not all that, it's not all that far from Memphis, but Ripley can believe it. I'm going to be there. It's a done deal, so I'm going to be there with a big meet and greet and autograph signing, and I really look forward to it. Some great fans, the entire Memphis, Tennessee area, and this is going to be the first time I'm back there in a very, very long time. So anyway, it's March 8th, Sunday, and 2 o'clock in the afternoon starts, Tippah County Convention Center, okay?
Excellent. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think so. So we got a few things going here, all right?
Yeah. And hopefully we'll run into you sometime.
I hope so, too. So hit me up, and we'll do this again, and enjoyed meeting you over the telephone.
Excellent. Thank you.
Hello, this is Gary Hart, and I'm demanding that you listen to InYourHeadOnline.com, or I'll send a kabuki to your house and blow your ass green.